All right, traders. Hey, welcome on back here this Friday afternoon, post-Christmas mortem here. Great to have all of us at least here joining us inside our live trading room. Leda, Dave, Michael, Lawrence. We'll catch Lawrence later at least. Denzel just still here with us. Margaret, always great to see her. Give me a quick sound check, folks. Let me know if you got me here loud and clear. But otherwise, great to see all of us back on social media. Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. I hope that you still have a full stomach from yesterday if you had celebrated Christmas. If you do not, well, I hope you still had a full stomach and relaxed at least. But down below, if you're on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, all of our socials down below, just at Cyber Trading You, especially just with this NVIDIA move. If you want to continue with this move with us, not just inside our live trading room, but just next week live at the beginning of Monday, once Fausto's even back, just make sure to follow directly on YouTube as well as our other socials at Cyber Trading You. Because at least from the morning session, this NVIDIA trade, we don't really say it this often, but this was like taking candy from a kid. This was as simple of a move. If you were focused on NVIDIA today, this was as simple of a move as we could ever ask for. What do I mean? Well, just it's all about knowing where your levels are. So even as such, I had posted the link to our live class scheduled for 3 o'clock Eastern later on today. So if you're a silver level student or higher, Margaret, Leto, Day, Charles, Barbara, Mike, Dave. I mean, pretty much most of us, if not all of us here, just chatting me. So you guys got access. I look forward to seeing you there. That's basically going to be the main focal point for our class this afternoon. But if you're on social media, hey, I'll give you a little sneak peek. Why not, right? This is just what we do inside our live trading room all throughout the day. We make these call outs. We scan for different trades, of course. We'll get to a couple different movers that we had called out heading into the early to mid afternoon just before. But NVIDIA, we've been on top of since pre-market, 8:41 in the morning. I made this call out. NVIDIA larger resistance R at 192. Then from there, if it can break over that, if it could flip that resistance, that R into a support, then there's a chance for 195, 196 based on what we see from level 4. So for the time being, hey, it ended up retesting that resistance just a moment ago. It broke above it. I think there's a good chance for a new move heading into the end of the day. We'll check out what the markets are up to altogether. We'll just see what the SPY's doing. If that's making lower high and setting up for a lower low, then maybe not so much, but kind of higher lows, if anything. I mean, it's just sideways. I'm looking at this as a little bit of a higher low. You could say lower high still. So it definitely needs to do something and certainly hopefully make a nice pop coming up. But NVIDIA, hey, resistance flipping into support, just a stock that we're very familiar with. We love NVIDIA more as a swing trade, even as a day trade. But, just to put it back on our list here for the afternoon, just why not, right? Now, with that said, we'll go through the watch list right now. Is SOPA still popping here? Please, please push back a little bit back down to 195 here. So just before I jumped in and out on this is my second attempt here just beforehand. I took a loss as it stopped me out below 170. I took 2 trades today, day trades at least. We'll go over the first one in a bit. This was the second one. So I took a loss here, but then I jumped back in as it pushed back up and I caught it a bit late though. I'm in from like 182, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So for right now, let's see if this could at least try and break higher. But this stock has the same type of low float as the ASPC trade, does and did. So this one definitely in the dumps now at this point. We're not going to really look to trade this really at all for the close. But this was a beautiful runner from earlier today. And when I say beautiful, that doesn't mean it had good orders out there. Just based on the chart, it just made these really nice higher lows and eventually made a pretty strong higher high. So Fausto flag broke out to the upside. But also this, how about this? Check this out. This as if this couldn't have been any better timing also here. So I was talking to Denzel, one of our students. He was kind of just asking, like, what's up with the spread on this stock? It's huge. And I gave a brief explanation. It's a short squeeze on typically low float, low volume. But right at that time, check this out, 12:50 Eastern, right? I do not recommend anyone to really jump in at the stage. It will crash brutally. And it's just from experience. We see this every day, right? So, Denzel wasn't trying to jump in himself. He was just asking a quick question about the spread. But that goes to any of our members here, right? That was to anyone. So you just don't want to be on the top of the roller coaster looking down. I think this topped off, literally the candle after I made that comment. So, for right now, even with the SOPA trade, just be mindful. The same thing could very well happen on that too. We're done with the ASPC though. The SOPA we're not done with yet. All right. So what we could do at least is just go right from top to bottom here. I lost my marker for my watch list here. Just give me a moment. I place my spot. There we go. So we got NVIDIA. We got SOPA. That is pushing higher right now as I'm talking. There we are, right back on the up and up. Who's in on the SOPA trade right now? Dave, did you jump in on the SOPA trade? Did anyone else catch a piece of this just before? Nasty shake at first. So I took a loss on it at first on my first try. Jumped back in though from the 182. Right. So, for right now, doing pretty good on the SOPA trade. Dave in from 148. Nice entry from Dave. And Lee also. Beautiful Lee. I mean, hey, at this point, let's just make sure that we keep seeing higher lows. Consolidation's good. Consolidation is not bad. I'll just say that at least, right? All right. What else we got? ECDA flat. That's dead in the water now. TII Titan Mining. Nice little pop before, but it looks kind of low float, low volume. This had a nice pop. Check this out. Nice just Fausto flag here. It was building up with higher lows, more so just at this top, earlier. Made the breakout above it. It flipped it into a support after. Just kind of hanging out, though. It's a little bit more flat for the afternoon. Not really like near or at the highs. You know what I'm going to do, guys? Just give me a sec. I'm going to get out on a quarter of my position on the SOPA trade right now. Right at 212, I got filled at. I'm just on quarter. Just taking half out because I just want to maintain my position as we do this meeting. I can't do everything at once, right? That's where I tell you, if you're joining me in class, I would rather you just be in class and not trade. If you'd rather trade, I don't want you to be in class. I'd just rather have your full focus one or the other. So when I'm doing this meeting, hey, I have my stop set, but I'm at least scaling out because who knows what could happen to that SOPA as I'm flapping my gums. So, just scale out accordingly at least, but don't need to be circus performers here to make money, right? So, at least for right now, hopefully this just remains steady. But let's just keep going through our watch list here for the afternoon. The GSIT trade. Yeah, Denzel, you also mentioned, or Denzel, I think it was, maybe Dave, just one of our students mentioning it was pushing up higher before. This is where we were saying that we had a little resistance on GSIT. This was earlier back from mid-November. 775, triple sevens. So broke above that. Nice entry here. I didn't grab a piece of it myself, but that seems really takeable. Any of our students could have had the chance to jump in if they were focused on that call out. But otherwise, though, I don't know how much time we have left for this to flip it into support and then catch a big bounce afterwards, though, right? It might hit support, make a 10-cent, 5-cent bounce, but I don't think that's worth our time at this stage. So nice move. I'm not as inclined to put it on our main list for this afternoon. We'll check out that GSIT for Monday. Quantum getting beat up. I guess it's pulling back a little bit here now, the inverse. But, QBTS on the loser side, great short today. IONQ, that's actually still near the lows. Maybe we put that on our list as a short. Rigetti has been a great short today. So all of these we've also been calling out. IONZ is the inverse for that. RGTZ, another inverse. So, not really a great necessity to put them on our list right away, but we'll come back to them if we need to. This one's cheaper, at least. This is an inverse for another stock, but it's cheaper. So RKLB is down, but the fact that the ETF, the inverse to it, is a lot less expensive and it likely has better volume, just really good spread, a little bit more manageable, perhaps. I wouldn't mind adding Rocket Lab short RKLZ up. So just both of those, the stock and then the ETF here. Silver, no brainer, all-time highs, obviously. Silver, and then what else we got? PAAS. This one's a little stagnant here, a little flat. All right, really just SLV is all we need here, right? SLV has been on a huge tear, of course. You got to be blind to not realize that, or otherwise just you got to be living under a rock because we've been on top of this for a long while. And I'm sure people on YouTube, social media, if you're tuning in, perhaps you might be knee deep in silver from the last couple of years. You might be long term on silver for a little while. A few of our students trade the metallics, whether it be silver, gold, platinum. So with that, I mean, hey, we've been on top of it. We'll remain on top of it. Platinum here, PLTM, not doing as much for the afternoon, but like we said, metals all together, right? PSLV, that's another one, Silver Trust. So, I could add that. That's more within our price range, actually. So the Chinese EV stocks do good today in the morning. XPEV and NEO, nothing really too much to write home there. USAS is another silver company, probably silver mining, maybe, but for right now, it just seems like silver and then a couple of the others that we have on our gainers list so far. Let's hop over to the loser side, though. Maybe we could find some good shorts. Sable offshore, another drop off here today. That's not a surprise at all. Support flipped into resistance perfectly there. DMC at the low of the day, just pretty slow. Also pretty slow. A lot of these trades, like, maybe if you want to practice really badly on a short, you got a couple that like possibly could maybe go lower. I don't like using those words, and I don't really focus on that with my trading. Nothing's guaranteed, but you never want to just focus on the tiny little possibilities. You want to focus on the things that have a much better shot than not, at least of happening. So sober here, it's down percentage-wise, but it's actually pushing up a little bit right now. Check that out, huh? Go back to the chart for the past couple of days. This was support. Looks like it's back over it or trying to get back over it. I'm not a big fan of it just yet. Just kind of ran into it, though, on the loser side. SMR down once again here, so continuing to get beat up. Nuclear and quantum collectively. The AMCI was a nice move. Now it's actually on the loser side. Check that. But this was a great play from earlier today. So this is where I ended up making some good money right off the breakout over 11. Flipped it into support and moved up beautifully towards close to the next resistance. But we're getting close enough to reversal time here as is 10:15, 10:30. So I ended up taking half my position out right around 72, 1172, 1173. And then the second half break even as it pulled back, it just stopped me out. But that was my trade on the morning at least. Now for the SOPA, go back to that. Yeah, look what happened here. Look how nastily this just shook back down. So I still have 3/4 of my position left, but that's why I sold 1/4 at least right at 212. So I feel pretty good at least with selling a quarter. You know what? I'll probably sell another half right here even. Or another quarter. Sorry, another quarter. So I got half of my position remaining left on this trade. But for the time being, Kathleen, Brad, Michael, Steve, Barbara, Mike, all of our students here in chat right now. Just trying to shout out a couple more of us here inside our room. We got Elmer here joining us, Mark, got Phil, Terry, you got Wendy, Yehuda. Got a lot of us here just joining us still heading into the weekend. So if there's any other trades you want me to look at, just let me know right now. I'll tell you what, kind of a slow day altogether. Market did as good as we could ask for it to do after such a run on Wednesday. So, for what it's worth, we're still doing pretty good market-wise. We're probably going to see more traction within the market, better moves going into the next 2 weeks, let alone the next week. So probably after the new year rings, we'll probably see some more activity once traders come back from vacation. But last call, folks. Let me know if you see anything else that looks good. Anything at the high of the day or at the low of the day, respectively, long or short there. But we'll finish up otherwise. MSTR maybe bouncing back up a little bit. Not really a giant fan right now. BTC right now just flat. Maybe over the weekend something happens there. Not really too interested right now otherwise. Everything else seeming flat, though. All the larger cap Mag 7s or whatever, Mag 10s, whatever you want to call it. Avgo doing all right here today, I guess, but $352 per share. I'll pick and choose battles. All right, folks, for the time being, hey, we got a really good list to work with for what it's worth. For the day after Christmas, for heading into another holiday weekend, we got a really good list here to work with. So you know what I'll say, start and stick with this right here. You do have a good short to work with, at least on the Rocket Lab. And if you can't short, maybe you could even buy the RKLZ going up. But, NVIDIA, SOPA, SLV, silver that is. So a decent list to work with for right now. Now, folks, otherwise, just keep in mind, there's going to be no audio this afternoon just because most of our students are going to be in class with me. So we have our phase 2 course coming on up to close out or not to close out, I reckon. We were going to close out today, but we had a slight adjustment to our live class schedule. So lesson 11, at least, will be this afternoon at 3 o'clock Eastern later on this afternoon. And then we'll wrap up with lesson 12, finishing up phase 2 for Monday, right when we come back from the weekend. All right, folks. But again, no audio for this afternoon. So, for any of our non-students, if you're just trading for the afternoon, best of luck heading into the close. Probably take it nickels and dimes, but otherwise, I look forward to seeing most of our students with me coming up in just a bit. Take care.